about 15 miles away, where the gunman had opened fire, shooting 4 people, according to authorities, 2 fatally.
Preliminary information indicates that the suspect may have had a connection to the individuals at the church.
Police say the suspect, whose identity has not been released, was shot and killed by responding officers. The county coroner identifying the 2 victims killed as 32-year-old Christina Combs and 72-year-old Beverly Gum, daughter and mother. According to public records, Gum appears to be the wife of the church's pastor, who was seen here on a Facebook live stream around the time of the violence.
But the gift of God is eternal life.
One of Gum's daughters telling the Lexington Herald-Leader the gunman arrived and asked for one of her sisters. When they said she wasn't there, he replied, "Well, someone is going to have to die then," and started shooting. Rachel Barnes posting, "My mom, Beverly Gum, and little sister, Christina Combs, I love you guys so much. I can't believe this is real."
Church was a small church, and the majority of the individuals that attend the church there are related. If not, they've been friends for many, many years.
Kentucky's Governor Andy Beshear says he's heartbroken, adding violence like this has no place in our Commonwealth or country.
Sometimes things happen. We just don't have a reason why. But we're going to be here, the people of Lexington.
And state police are praising a family of Good Samaritans who they say provided life-saving treatment to the trooper injured in the initial shooting. He's said to be in stable condition. Guys, still so many unanswered questions in this heartbreaking incident.
But thank goodness for those Good Samaritans.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, Emily, thank you. President Trump is making new threats in his ongoing trade war, now threatening to impose major tariffs on imports from Mexico and the European Union. We've got 2 reports from Washington this morning. We'll start with NBC's Gabe Gutierrez at the White House. Gabe, good morning.
Hey there, Savannah. Good morning. Many key U.S. allies are now weighing whether to retaliate against the U.S. after President Trump threatened to dramatically raise tariffs if they don't reach trade deals by the end of the month. And this all marks a significant escalation of his trade war. This morning, more top U.S. trading partners are dealing with President Trump's tariff threats. Over the weekend, the European Union and Mexico slapped with new 30% import taxes that will take effect August 1st.
We have tariffs pouring in at levels that we have never seen before, and they've only just started.
The president also threatening to raise the tariffs even higher if any of the countries retaliate, something European leaders are now considering.
We've prepared for this, and we can respond with countermeasures if necessary.
Last week, in a series of letters posted to social media, the president hit countries with tariffs ranging from 25 to 50%. Since Trump first announced tariffs in April, he's changed them multiple times. Despite the uncertainty, stocks have hit record highs, meaning many Americans' 401ks have benefited. But some experts warn the president's 50% tariff on copper imports could make phones, computers, and TVs more expensive. The cost of coffee beans from Brazil could also rise. So could the price of clothing, shoes, and accessories made overseas. The president last night saying he expects other countries to negotiate.
We're willing if they're willing to open up.
But he appears less optimistic about other foreign policy negotiations over the war between Ukraine and Russia.
But I am very disappointed with President Putin.
Now announcing he'll send Ukraine Patriot missiles.
We will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening.
This morning, the president is expected to meet with the NATO Secretary General here at the White House. Trump is also teasing what he's calling a major statement involving Russia today. It's not clear what that will be, but a bipartisan group of senators is urging the president to impose new sanctions against Moscow. Savannah?
All right, Gabe Gutierrez leading us off from the White House. Thank you.
All right, let's stay in Washington now, because meanwhile, the president is confronting a growing backlash over his administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, with some of his own supporters now demanding that he fire Attorney General Pam Bondi. NBC's senior Washington correspondent Hallie Jackson joins us with that part of the story. Hallie, good morning.
Hey there, Craig. Good morning to you. This is a rift not just inside MAGA world, but inside the president's own administration, too, with one top official considering leaving. The president now says of his number 2 at the FBI, he believes he's still in the job. But all of it highlighting how the Epstein case has transformed into a political liability for President Trump as he tries to tamp down talk of a break in his base. President Trump today facing a revolt in the MAGA ranks over how his administration has handled the case of notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Late Sunday, trying to downplay dissatisfaction and backing his deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino.
I spoke to him today, Dan Bongino, and he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
Bongino considered resigning over the Epstein files after a heated confrontation with Attorney General Pam Bondi, according to a source familiar with his interactions and another person who has spoken with him. The former podcaster, one of multiple Trump loyalists who had promoted conspiracies about Epstein's prison suicide 6 years ago, but in his new job, acknowledging no cover-up, despite deep skepticism from others in the president's base. At a conservative conference this weekend, that fury on full display.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap.
With calls to fire Bondi, the president bringing Bondi to a soccer match Sunday, defending her as fantastic online, and writing, "What's going on with my boys?" and in some cases, gals, adding, "People should not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about." It comes after the DOJ released an unsigned 2-page memo last week saying it would not make additional disclosures in the Epstein case, reaffirming Epstein was not murdered and adding he did not maintain a client list that he used to traffic underage girls, contradicting what Bondi told Fox News in February.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Bondi later saying she was referring to the Epstein files in general, as she is now squarely in the spotlight.
Pam, if you can't do your job, we'll find someone who will.
Now, far-right activist and Trump ally Laura Loomer is calling for a special counsel to investigate the handling of the Epstein case, but the president has made clear he wants to move past this and that he's standing by his attorney general for now. Craig?
All right, our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie.